Good Erev Shabbos, everyone. Erev Shabbos, Parshas Shmos, brand new beginning. Amazing. Everybody asked the question that this is called Parshas Shmos. It's the Parsha of the names. It begins the book of names. And yet, after we introduce the Shvatim again, so then every person that's mentioned is mentioned without a name. We talk about a Melech Chadash. We talk about Shifra and Pua, that those are not their real names. We're talking about a man from the house of Levi, a woman from the house of Levi. Everything is all pronouns, descriptions, no names. It's fascinating that in the book of names, the beginning of the Parsha has no names. What's also fascinating is that there's a miracle that happens when we talk about the birth of Miriam, the birth of Moshe. Chava was pretty old when she had a child. We don't make a big deal out of it. Sarah has a child, we go nuts. She has a child much older. It's sort of the miracle by Sarah sort of pales in comparison. And yet we say nothing about it. So I think one of the incredible things that we learn in the beginning of the Parsha is that there is a great difference between Sefer Bereshis and Sefer Shmos. Sefer Bereshis is all about setting the roots of Klal Yisrael. The roots are set by individuals, by Avram, by Yitzchak, by Yaakov. By the Shvatim, every one of them is setting a root for who Klal Yisrael is going to be, what Klal Yisrael can accomplish. That there are going to be people to be able to change their lives in the middle of their lives, and to be able to change course, and to turn their lives around. That's because Avraham Avinu had the ability to be able to place inside of us this midah of Lech Lecha. That there were Jews who are willing to be Moshe Nefesh, willing to give up their lives to protect what they believed in, because Avram and Yitzchak were willing to be Moshe Nefesh. All of the tunos, all of the basic properties of the Jew and the definitions of a Jew were all laid down in Sefer Bereshis. Everything, every action that happened by an individual was critical to us. But now we're transitioning from a nation, from an individuals, from the roots, now to developing a nation. Now we're developing the klal of Yisrael. Now we're developing the nation of Israel. When you're developing the nation of Israel, now we look at the klal. The names don't play the same kind of role, because now it's not about the individual. Now it's about the group. So a man from the house of Levi, a woman from the house of Levi, somebody who has a nickname named Shifra, somebody's nickname named Pua, a Melech Chadash. It doesn't matter the names. This incredible miracle doesn't matter right now. Because right now we're forming a nation. And every individual becomes melded together to make that one united nation. And that's what we're seeing in the beginning of the book of Shmos. There's another incredible thing that we see, that if you go through the first perek of Shmos, you will see Jewish history. Every single era of Jewish history, every single time we went into another country and into another place, what was going to happen to us is written here in the Torah very clearly. And that we're just repeating the pattern. And if you want to see the Spanish Inquisition, you want to see Poland, Germany, you want to see the Holocaust, every single twist and turn is alluded to here in the Parsha. So you have to ask a question that if this is where we're being developed, and this is where we're coming from roots to now trees, we're coming to the essence. We were powerful coming out of Eretz Yisrael, coming into Mitzrayim. We were a focused people. What happened? How do we become slaves? So the Torah tells me, you want to understand Jewish history? You want to understand what happened to the Jews, how Pharaoh was able to subdue them and overtake them? It's very, very simple. one undramatic pasuk. Vayomas Yosef v'kol echav v'kol hador hahu. Yosef died, his brothers died, and the whole generation died. What the Torah is telling me is impactful. That when Yosef was alive, we felt a sense of pride. We were proud to be associated with Yosef. Somebody would say to us, "Who are you?" "Oh, that's Uncle Joe. It's my uncle. It's my grandfather. It's my father's father." We were so filled with pride. But then when Yosef died, when his brothers died, when that entire generation, that tier, all died, we lost that sense of pride. And when you have no sense of pride, you can be destroyed by another human being. You can be overtaken and overrun and be belittled and marginalized. When you have no sense of self, when you have no sense of being, no sense of value and worth, then you can be bullied and you can be destroyed. And that's how we became slaves. Because we lost that sense of pride. We live in a world that we talk about Jewish pride. We talk about being proud to be a Jew. And you have to ask the question, what are we proud of? We're proud that we belong to a nation of people and have introduced a moral code to the world and that live by that moral code. It forces us to ask the question, am I a reflection of that moral code? I'm proud to be a part of a people that lives on a plane that's higher than that of an animal. I'm proud that I'm part of a people like that has a Torah, that has a God, that has a purpose. But am I living with that Torah? Am I living with that God? Am I living with that purpose? I can say all I want that I'm proud to be a Jew. But am I living that pride? It's difficult to claim that I'm proud to be part of a Jewish nation when I am so disassociated with that Jewish nation. When you look at me and it becomes difficult to discern that I am in fact a Jew. When you can't see my yarmulke and my tzitzis, and I'm not talking about just wearing the yarmulke and tzitzis, but it's not something that is apparent. It's not a reflection of who I am. It's just a thing that I wear. That's not called pride. Pride is when I wear that on my sleeve, when I wear that on my existence, when I am a reflection of everything I believe in and everything I am proud to be associated with. That's when you know you're filled with pride. When you're not embarrassed, you're not ashamed. You're not unidentified. A Yid sits down to a meal. He doesn't wash, he doesn't bench. He doesn't eat like an exalted human being. His tefillin sit in his closet. His Gemara on a shelf. You can say, I'm proud to be part of this people. I'm saying proud. I'm not living proud. That's the opening book of Shmos. You want to make a nation? You want to make a nation that makes it through all of their adversaries and all of their enemies? Be proud. But don't say proud. Live proud. And the prouder you live, the stronger our nation becomes. And the easier it is to be able to bring on ourselves that geula. Because pride is might, pride is strength, when it's not just words, but when it becomes our identity and a part of our lives. Be proud and live proud. And with that, we'll see the Geula Shlema. B'meira v'yameinu. Amen.